So we started talking about like digital transformation. That was a very big part of companies, and of course the latest trend on AI. And so what are your thoughts kind of on the future of the service industry and kind of future of Wawa? How do you see technology, AI, how you define it, changing that culture of people first, high touch, because the two things are kind of, you can come up with solutions that you can use AI instead of cashiers, and it's probably very easy to do and probably save you a few $1 million. But is it something you see the future going that direction?
It will, because the generation today, the younger generations, they're clearly giving us signals that the Amazon experience is expected no matter what. It's got to be super easy, got to be super frictionless. And so we spend a lot of time, and I'm not going to tell you we've cracked the code on how do we balance that and still having that personal connection, which we think is important in service and important to people. So two seminal moments over the last 25 years. One, 25 years ago, we put in touch screens. So you used to walk up to someone at the counter and say, I want a turkey hoagie with this, this, and this on it, and they'd write it on a piece of paper, and they get about a third of it right, 2/3 of it wrong. They get a turkey hoagie, they get home, and not really what they wanted. And so we changed that to a touch screen. And we sort of lucked out because one, it allowed us to get on a trend of personalization and customization. And two, then Apple showed up with an iPad years later, and so touchscreen became a thing. That was a big barrier. Our customers and some of our associates that were ruining the company. It is now just part of our standard operating procedure. We couldn't go back. Our menu is so complex. This isn't if you haven't been in a Wawa, number 1, 2, or 3, it is you can make a sandwich or a quesadilla or 500 other things with 38 different ingredients on it any way you like. So that's an important element because of speed as well. So speed, and then what happens when actually the screen says all the right things? You make your orders accurately as well. So that, and then we did go the self-checkout route in some of our checkouts during COVID. It was just seemed like a necessity. I question that at times if that was the right decision, but and on the digital front, the service model will be changed. I think it's just going to become such an important part of what the generation wants that's growing in economic power, that when they're going to spend their money, and I think this is across convenience, but every business, they want you to know them before they walk in your store. And they don't want you to know them because you've been there. They think electronically, like an online experience, that should happen in brick and mortar. Technology has to help play that role, and we've started down some of that. And when they get inside your store, by knowing them means you know exactly what I want, or you should, and you should be able to tell me some things maybe I didn't expect but are going to be really relevant to me. So you're seeing marketing on the retail side come to a one-to-one relationship, even in brick and mortar, and digital data loyalty is all surrounding how to make that happen. So it's a lot of us are still trying to figure it out. The race right now for every retailer is building the size of your loyalty database, because our fear is, so what do you think the number one place, if you don't shop at a Wawa, what your consideration set is? If you don't go to a Wawa for lunch, where do you think the average person goes? Sheets in some markets. If you don't know Sheets, they're a little smaller and crappier than us. I mean, sorry. McDonald's. Thank you.
Subway.
McDonald's, actually Subway, yes, but not nearly as much. So McDonald's, if it's morning, it's Dunkin', which is much more popular up north, and even Starbucks. So it depends on the daytime, but McDonald's. So the fear I have is McDonald's has a very powerful loyalty program. And if I have a customer who's in their loyalty program and mine, if they're better at loyalty, they're better at data analytics, they're better at understanding my customer, they're going to market to my customer, and I say my in the nicest way, better than I can. And that is a really dangerous world. And so all of us are rushing to understand customer behaviors in a way that really I can serve up the best meaningful offer to you at the time that you want it, in the way that you want it, that's most relevant. And that's marketing, at a really high level. It is very hard to do. We've invested tens of millions of dollars into a loyalty program. We have 3.5 million active users. of our about 20 million sort of customers that use Wawa. So it's really hard to do. And at the same time, AI is going to get in there, and it's going to help with those. It's going to take that to a whole new level, because this is a lot of manual analytics. Right now, we're running probably 15 different A/B tests, which are you and Adam look a little bit alike in your behaviors. So I'm going to give Adam one test, you another. We'll create cohorts, and we'll just watch to see which one's better. Yeah. That's pretty much what we're all doing. AI will probably be able to predict that before even having to do it. So, digital's a big part. We underwent with our digital transformation the hardest part. We were a buy and implement shop. With our digital transformation in the last 5 years, we've now gone from design, build our own software for much of what is customer facing. So that touch screen now is all our own code and our own programmers. And we wanted to own that entry point for our customers because of the data, but also because we can move to market much more quickly. When someone else owned it, it was literally, you want a new product to go on that screen, it'll take 6 months to create all the code around it. We can do that now in 6 days. So speed to market's really important around all of that. So yes, it's been a costly but beneficial, and we're still in the early part of that J curve.